Hi, my name's Suzanne. I'm going to lead you in a vocal warm-up. Vocal warm-ups are super important if you are rehearsing a play, teaching a class, if you're going into an audition, or working on a monologue. When we do a vocal warm-up, there are 5 things that you really need to focus on. You need to focus on your body, your breath, your sound, your articulation, and the support you need for your voice to be heard in a big space. So let's start with the body. The first thing that I like to focus on when I come in to my warm-up is releasing the body. And I do that with a bit of a shake. Just a little bit of shaking to wake me up. Shake my hands and my wrists and my elbows, my shoulders, my head, my hips. Give them a wiggle, wiggle, knees, ankles, and feet. And I do that and I just feel a little bit more alive, which is really nice. So I'm waking up my body. The second thing with my body is to make sure that I stretch things that might be tense. Now for voice, one of the most important things is your rib cage. Your lungs live inside your rib cage, and air in your lungs is what powers that voice. So it's really important that we stretch our rib cage. And I do that by reaching up and grabbing my hand and moving to one side and to the other side and to the other side. And I really stretch those ribs. Good. Now that's the side of my ribs, but I also have the front of my ribs. So I lace my hands behind me and I stretch the front of my rib cage. And then I do the back of my rib cage. And that's great. I've got my rib cage much more open than before. Let's think about our necks. Necks can get quite tense. Take your head to the side and rock it. And you'll notice that as I do this, I am breathing, and I'm putting little sighs into play. And then I let my head drop to my chest and I roll it over to the other side. By sighing and breathing while I stretch my muscles, I'm awakening my vocal folds and I'm warming my voice up as well. Really easy little sounds. If I can sigh when I'm doing different exercises, I know that my throat is staying open. So we've done our shoulders, our ribs. Oh, we haven't done our shoulders, have we? Let's roll our shoulders. Should have done those before the neck. Roll your shoulders back, back, and back, and roll your shoulders forward and forward and forward. And then just bring them up to your ears and drop them on the out breath. Up to your ears, up to your ears, and we've done our neck. And now let's come up to our head. It's a funny thing, heads, but think about your face. Let's do big face, wow, and little face, ooh, big face, wow, and little face, ooh, and just chew your face a bit. There's lots of muscles in your face, your muscles of facial expression, and we use those a lot in communication, but also our face is a big center of resonance, and if our muscles are tight, our voice is tight. So chew your forehead, chew your eyes, chew your nose, chew your cheeks, chew your lips, and give it a shake. Nice. Waking up that face. Good. So we've had a stretch and we've had a shake and we're getting ourselves woken up for this warm-up. The last thing I want you to think about your body in our 5 steps with the body is to think about your alignment and how you stand. And right now I'm standing in a very neutral posture for you. And that's where we want to start, because when we move into our acting or our dancing, we're going to move into different postures. But now we want to start in a balanced place. So make sure that your feet are right underneath you. They're not too wide and they're not too narrow, but they're about hip width apart. And then think about your knees and make sure that your knees aren't locked. And then think about your pelvis, and your pelvis is balanced over your knees. And then let your spine be long. Don't worry about it being straight. Just think about it being long because it's got curves in it. And then we get to our shoulders, and we think about our shoulders being wide. And allow your heart to be open. And then your spine goes up into the center of your head, and your head is floating on top. And allow yourself that sense of being between the floor and the ceiling, grounded at the floor, but reaching towards the ceiling. And we've got our body in play now. So we've done body. Let's talk about breath. From this centered place, just take a moment and breathe. Have a sigh to start it off. And then take a minute to just connect with your own breath. Sometimes I like to close my eyes when I do this because I think about the air inside me. It's not a big breath. Every breath might be a little bit different. But I'm breathing deeply in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And I'm getting connected to my breath. We breathe for life, and we also breathe for speech. We need our breath in order to power our sound. So now, I want you to think about a yawn. Yawns are great because we get a lot of air in really quickly because we really open our mouths and we let it go right down into our center. Ah, and sigh out. Do a couple yawns. Ah. One more. Ah. And you'll notice the more you release into a yawn, the more breath you get. And then when you breathe out, and if you do it on a sigh, it'll be a little bit louder. Little tip. If you need to be loud, use more breath from the center. Good. So we've connected to our breath. We're kind of consciously aware of it now. Now I want you to think about sustaining the breath, which is something that we need to do when we sing or if we have to speak long sentences. So with that breath that we just took in, release it on an F. And think that that F is floating out towards the horizon. So now we're connecting our breath to sustain sound. Let's put a little voice behind that and turn the F into a V. An easy pitch. Not too high, not too low. And the sound lasts just as long as the breath supports it. And you'll find as you're warming up, you might have bigger breaths and smaller breaths, longer notes and shorter notes. Don't judge them, but just always be working towards allowing the breath to support that sound from the center. So good, we've done our body and we've done our breath. We're connected to our breath now. Now let's move on to sound. Now you'll notice we've already been sounding. We've done sighs, ah, and we've even done a more constructed, so we're getting there already. But every little bit of voicing, you've got two muscles, or actually got four. You've got two muscles in each vocal fold right here, and every time you bring them together for sound, you're activating them and they're beginning to warm up. So that's why it's always important to start gently with a warm-up. So we've already got that sound going. Ha, ha, little fluffy, ha, 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 ha. Let's take it into a hum. Like we like something. And you'll notice with that there's a real natural pitch glide going on. Let's let that pitch glide grow. And again. We can go from the bottom up. Mm. New breath. Mm. All on one breath. Mm. And doing little pitch glides like that, nice and easy. We're waking up the vocal folds. Every time we go high, the vocal folds stretch. When we go low, they relax, and so they're starting to move. The more you do that, the higher you can go and the lower you can go. It depends on your own voice. But for the warm-up, just waking them up. Don't worry if you have little breaks in your pitch are a little bit of tension, and the more that you practice, you'll smooth out those glides. There are those little breaks that might happen. Good, so we've gone through our range. Now let's stick with the hum. And find a nice easy pitch for you, your thinking sound. And now as you hum, I want you to just kind of chew on that hum a little bit, real loose. And the more I chew and I kind of tune into my hum, the more tickle I feel on my nose and my lips. Place your hands here. And hum gently into your hands. And you'll begin to feel more and more vibration. And it's really nice to find that vibration. The more tickle, the more vibration, the more resonance you are using in your face. You've got lots of bones in your face that help you with that resonance. You can even combine it with a pitch glide, and you'll find that some pitches vibrate more. But don't ever try to kill the tickle. It might be a bit annoying, but the more tickle you have, the more resonance you have, and the more resonance that you're using, the richer your sound. Good. So body, breath, sound, pitch, and resonance, we're getting them going. Now we move on to our articulators. Our tongue and our lips, our jaw, our teeth as well, all are part of the mechanism of articulation. Let's start with our lips, and let's just blow our lips a little bit. This loosens off the muscle. Combine it with a pitch glide. Good. Feel that coming alive. And we've already chewed them out, but just do a little, do 5 kisses. And feel that. Push out your cheeks. These are games we play with little babies. It's we're building up a sense of the muscularity of your 2 lips. You've got lots of muscles in there that are helping you with that. Think of your ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. 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 Do a couple of those ba-ba-ba. Get that going, because that's the sound we make. Turn it to a P. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. 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 And then a ma. Those are our 3 lip sounds. Ba-pa-ma. Ma-ma-ma-ma-ma-ma-ma. 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 Good. So my lips feel like they're a little bit more awake now. Let's talk about our jaw. We did a little bit of loosening of the jaw. I think we did. I'm not sure we did. Let's go to our jaws. Take your fingers and massage your cheek muscles. And go forward and sigh. And go backwards and sigh. And then feel that stretch. Kind of like a ventriloquist dummy. Ba, 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 ba. And really loosen that off. Again, the drop that you get when you yawn. Allowing the jaw to release creates space in the mouth, and that's good for articulation and for resonance. So we spend a lot of time with our jaws. So the jaw's been released. Our lips have been activated. Let's move to the tongue. The tongue is a very, very busy place of articulation. Let's think about the back of the tongue. And put the tip of the tongue behind your bottom teeth and stretch the body of the tongue out of your mouth. Put a little sound on it. Can be a siren. And you'll feel a little bit of a stretch down under here. We're waking up that tongue. Then we have the blade of the tongue, the bit that sticks out. Very important for articulation. So let's give it a little bit of Dracula, just to wake it up, and take it to the side. Let's clean our teeth with our tongue. I'm going to take it around. Let's do it. Follow me. We're going to do 3, 2, and 1 to both sides. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 1, 1. Now that might feel quite achy, and that's normal. Give it a stretch. That's a really good exercise to awaken your tongue, to strengthen your tongue, and to help your tongue's flexibility. So that's the body of the tongue. Tip of the tongue. Touch the tip. It's the edge. English is a language that's very tongue tip led. We've got lots of tongue tip sounds, and we've got ta 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 ta. Let's turn it into a D. Da 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 da. And an L. La 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 la. And an N. Na 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 na. And I like to use my fingertips when I'm doing my tongue tip. For some reason, my fingertips and my tongue tip work really well together. And if I get my fingertips in, my tongue tip works better. Good. So we've done our lips, our tongue. Now let's go to the back of the tongue, and we've got 3 sounds back there. We've got a K, ka, 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 and a G, 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 and an NG, nga, 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 nga. Good. We don't have many words that begin with an NG in the English language, but we do use it at the end and in the middle in sing, singing, and it's a really important articulator back there. Good. So we've got our articulators woken up. We've done body, breath, sound, articulation, and finally let's talk a little bit about how we support all of that if we're in a big space or even in a small space. Support comes from the body, and it really comes from the center. So place your hand on your belly, and we were breathing into our belly earlier, and then I had you do a lip trill. Do a lip trill again. Nice breath in. And you'll notice that when you lip trill, you might notice that your abdominal muscles engage a little bit, and this is part of our support network. We also use this support network when we laugh. So think of something that amuses you, whatever it is, and have a giggle. And if you can't think of anything, just have a fake laugh. It should still be working. Now, the thing that's great about finding your support through a laugh is that it's something that we do very naturally. But also, when we laugh and when we're happy, we open our throats. So you're getting your support network opened up or awakened, and your throat is opening. So with that little giggle and that sense, I hope you're feeling a little bit of activity going on down here in your belly. Let's take that to a ha, 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 and then to a hi, hey, how are you? And do that a couple times. Hi, on a breath. Hey, how are you? And you'll notice that the quite naturally, your support network is supporting that sound as you greet a friend or you say hello to someone. And so we've awakened our support. So with all of that, we've got our body engaged, our breathing engaged, our sound with our pitch and our resonance. Our articulators have been woken up, and we're thinking about how to support that in the space. So now we are ready to go into our rehearsal, to go in and lead a group in whatever you might be leading a group in doing, some sort of teaching, or going into an audition, or going in to work on a piece of theater. So I hope you feel more warmed up. I know that I do. I feel much more warmed up than when I began. Thank you very much.